Hi everyone, Claudia here from Lighting Clarity. Today I wanted to talk about a topic quite broadly to do with protecting your energies when you're around people that are perhaps not projecting the highest light at you. This could be to do with someone you work with. This could be to do with someone that you have to have contact with that isn't projecting the highest light, that in fact is projecting the opposite of the light to you. Okay. Sometimes their energies can go into our auric fields and they can create changes in our personalities. When we have an auric field and chakras that are clogged up with the energies of other people's emotions, the anger they've thrown at you, where you've gone at the shops, often it can create in you a personality change from the point of view of it being temporary, because temporarily you're feeling that you just are out of sorts, which is completely isn't you. You feel completely ungrounded, which is completely not you, and it's because you've picked up the energy of another person that has sent it to you, indirectly or directly. All right, whether they've vented at you or they keep venting at you, or whether this is someone that you're around that is very negative, that doesn't have a high vibrational energy, and you can feel drained by them. They're well-meaning, but you feel drained, and you feel drained after being with them. We can pick up all these different types of energies, and sometimes when we are constantly in these people, in the presence of these people, and then you're watching a horror movie, which I recommend nobody watches, or you're watching, one of those murder mysteries and it's quite graphic, which I recommend nobody watches, because that can open up an opening in your auric field, in your energy field, we'll say, to let things in. I don't watch horror movies, I don't watch murder mysteries. I really watch shows that are quite light-hearted and that are enjoyable. I mean, you can watch Murder, She Wrote by Angela Lansbury, that's not going to hurt you. that's different. Miss Marple, it's quite tame. Not that I've seen Miss Marple lately, but anything that's really quite like a thriller that's quite violent, I wouldn't do that. I also wouldn't read books that are low vibrational, that are quite violent books, that talk about how do I say this, satanic type energies and people and all the rest of it. I really would recommend each and every one of you watching me right now that you don't read those sort of books. It creates an opening in the aura to invite other energies in, because it creates a fear. When there's fear, there becomes holes in the aura. When there's upset, when there's this, there's that, it does create small little holes in the aura and things can get in. You're more susceptible to energies that are not of the light, so in somebody else, all right? So that could be your colleague who's always venting and you're like, oh God, you've got holes in your aura, and that energy goes in and you feel their anger, but you think it's yours, yeah? You can even see this in a loved one. Your loved one is always lovely and kind and normal, then one day you have them over for a coffee and they're a different person sitting in front of you that day for that 2 hours, and you're like, what on earth is wrong with you? And you're even feeling uneasy in their presence. There's a feeling of not feeling so safe in their presence. That's often because they've had a hole in their aura, an opening in their aura, little pockets have opened up, and something has gotten in that is not of the light, be it someone they're working with, someone they're hanging out with that perhaps isn't of the highest light, and there's a personality change. So the ways in which, I've seen this with people. I've seen this with clients who have asked about their loved ones, and I've even seen this sometimes with friends, which I don't always like seeing that, and sometimes I have to say to a friend, look, would you mind if I do a clearing on you from a distance, absent healing, just to help you here? And they're like, okay, because you're just not feeling right, you're not looking right, and they're like, yeah, okay, I understand that, and they're happy for me to do that. That's not often I offer that to a friend. I keep my businesses for you guys. My friendships are my friendships. I'm Claudia when I'm with them. I'm not Claudia the spiritual teacher, or Claudia the clairvoyant, or whatever. I'm not that. I'm just Claudia with them, and I prefer it that way, yeah? So one of the things I will say to all of you is just a general rule, and you've heard me say this many times, to stay grounded, to even grab a cooking tray, put dirt or soil in the cooking tray, put it under your feet, put your feet on the cooking tray, watch TV, read your nice book, and enjoy this, and you will ground in that manner. Yeah, reading your book, watching TV, just putting your feet on the soil. If you can't go outside to put your feet on the soil because it's too cold in your country or your state, wherever you are, then bring the soil to you inside the house and put your feet on it. And put your fingers in a pot plant if you can as well, if you can't bring that soil inside. That helps to ground you too. Doing that often. Also, as I've said before, getting to know your own energy. I know when there's a foreign energy in my aura. I know when there's a foreign energy around my chakras. And it needs to clear because I'm not right. There's something not right. There's something here with me and that's not right. And I know it and I ask it to be cleared. If I cannot clear it off myself, then I will get a fellow clairvoyant friend to do it for me. I can clear it for all of you, but sometimes it's difficult to do it for me. It just depends. Depends what it is. So I do recommend you getting to know your own energy, keeping your vibrations. It's not just high, but keeping your aura strong. How do I keep my aura strong, Claudia? How do I keep my aura strong? Believe in yourselves. Be your own cheerleaders. Don't take what someone else says is Bible. You believe in you. If it doesn't feel right, it doesn't seem right, you don't have to go along with that idea. You don't have to be that. Like, people have got their own ideas and no point in sitting there arguing with them. I just, depending what it is, depending on the topic, pick your battles wisely. Pick who's around you as well, who you choose to spend time with. And you don't have to tell everyone everything, including those that you trust and those that are around you. Protect yourselves in that regard as well. And keep your aura strong. Read books that bring joy in. Watch shows that make you laugh. Even watch shows that are interesting. They don't have to make you laugh. If you like to watch TV or movies that are not so bright of a light, just make sure they're not horrible or gory. Does that make sense? I mean, I've got a clairvoyant friend who was watching a psychic show with her husband. And she and her husband are psychics. And, watching the psychics on the show, and it's like, listening to them. I don't know what sort of show it was. She's in the UK. Well, she turns off the TV and that night things started happening in her house. And she went, oh. And she had to clear what it was. And she knew where it had come from watching the show. Including if you go to mediumship nights at the SNU, the spiritualist churches, it's important that medium puts protection around everyone before they get started and channel, a past loved one, a loved one that's passed. And if they're not doing it, protect yourself before you walk in. You do not want spirits following you home, because sometimes there are trick spirits that come in. They're not a loved one, they're just someone that thinks it's entertaining. You don't want them coming home with you. It's not the end of the world if they do come home with you, but it's you need to clear them. They need to be cleared. So I just want you to be aware, just reiterating, just be aware of what is it you do, where is it you go, be discerning what you read, and if they've got people around you that are negative, just place your energies of protection around you. Ask Archangel Michael to protect you from their energy, placing your mirrors, drawing your boundary line around your feet, energy of light, placing whatever you place in there is, you can say, please protect me from blah, and say, don't think you're coming at me today, don't think you're venting at me, don't think you're sending me any ill will. This line protects me, this light protects me, this is my borderline. You place that around your feet with your finger before you're meeting them, and you place that shield up, and you ask Archangel Michael to protect you from their energies. And you can place mirrors around you. They're all tricks. Ask them to place some mirrors around you before you meet them. And as I said, as best you can, being around uplifting energies as best you can. I don't watch a lot of the news. There's a lot of things I don't do, but when I need to hear it, I hear it, definitely. And naturally we all get upset, and naturally we all get angry, and naturally we all cry, and naturally you're going to hear a sad story, you're going to come across something that's going on across the countries, in the other world, in the other countries on our planet. I mean, it's natural. It is natural. You cannot guard yourself from everything. It is impossible. You'd have to go live in a cave in the Himalayas. That's not what you want to do. That's not what I want to do either. But just be discerning in people around you. If they don't feel good, if it doesn't feel right, ask for Michael to protect you, ask for God to protect you, and just say, I'm just not feeling great around this person, I'm needing some assistance here. Because you can feel it with a personality change in a loved one. You're like, what on earth's going on here? And also perhaps in yourselves. I mean, I know when the thoughts and feelings I'm thinking are not my own. I go, these aren't my thoughts and these aren't my feelings. It takes me a moment to work it out because I'm hearing myself go on. And then I go, why am I saying this? And then, this isn't my energy. This isn't me. And I'll know where's it come from. And I'll be told who it's come from. Be it a client, be it other people who are either sending me, they're thinking about me and perhaps they're not thinking in the highest light, or they these are people that I know, that I know in my outer world, not necessarily my work world, but in my outer world, that perhaps are not thinking of me in the highest light. Perhaps they can't get a hold of me, so I'm not answering the phone as often because I'm busy, or whatever this is, and I'll get to them when I can. It's not necessarily that they're meaning to send ill will, they're just like getting cross, why aren't you picking up, or where are you, I'm waiting, and these are friends and family members, like I'm coming, I can feel the anxiety coming at me, and I have to put the shield up saying I'm coming, just keep your anxieties for yourselves. I mean, you'll all feel that as empaths as well. Anyway, that's what I wanted to say. Keep your aura strong. Keep yourselves, look after yourselves, be caring towards yourselves. And if there's anything that needs to be cleared, like as I said, if I'm seeing or feeling thoughts that are not my own, I'll ask Archangel Michael to clear them. Definitely. And if I'm seeing people around me, spirits who have followed me home from the supermarket, I ask that they be taken onto the light. I had one guy, was a male spirit, a few years back. I was sitting here at the computer and somebody came across and kissed me on the lips as I was typing. And I was like, oh, what? Who's this? And then I realised there was a 26-year-old male standing next to me. Must have followed me home from the supermarket. I was not impressed. He kept kissing me. I said, no, this isn't going to happen. No, you need to stop that. No, you need to go to the light. And I was trying to move on. He wouldn't leave me. And I can clear and send souls onto the light in homes and around my clients. But to do it for me in that moment, I couldn't move him. He wouldn't budge. So I had to call on a fellow friend, clairvoyant, asking for her help. So I closed my eyes. She did assist. I watched as Archangel Michael came in with some other angels, and they took him in. They took him kicking, and he was kicking and screaming, wanting to leave me. And I kept saying to him, you must go to the light. There is no point in hanging around myself. I cannot help you. I am alive, and you have passed. You've got to go to the light, where you're going to receive a lot of healing. I felt really, really sorry. But you can't sit here kissing me. Who are you? And don't do that, obviously. And sometimes these people can overshadow your certain chakras, to try and get your attention, to try and also feed off your energy. So you can ask Archangel Michael to come in with Ascended Master Jesus and to remove anything that you feel is in your aura and your chakras, to be taken to the light to 100%, and ask for God's protection as they do this, and Archangel Michael's protection. Hold the power in your hands. You need to ask for the help, and they will assist. Alright, and if they're not helping, then get someone who can help you. Don't sit back. You can always feel better. We can always all feel better, all the time. Just reaching out for that help, whether it's getting a massage, whether it's investing money in seeing a psychologist or a counsellor, whether it's seeing a clairvoyant or having a healing or doing a spiritual course, or you can always feel better. You can or going out for coffees with a girlfriend, or deciding you're going to go see a movie once a month with a girlfriend. Some things in place for yourself that's nurturing, that you enjoy doing, that feeds different parts of your soul, that creates your life. Alright. Warm blessings, everyone. And I'll connect with all of you again soon. Thanks, everybody.